The evening sky was calm, painted with soft orange light as birds flew back to their nest. In a small village, there lived a poor boy named Daniel. He did not live with his parents, not because they didn't love him, but because life had been too hard for them. His parents, who had 3 sons, could barely feed themselves. So when Pastor John and his kind wife Mary offered to take Daniel in, they agreed, hoping it would give their son a better life. Pastor John and Mary loved Daniel deeply. They treated him like their own child. Mary always said, "Daniel, you are a special boy. God has a plan for you." Daniel believed her. He was humble, hardworking, and gifted. He played the keyboard in the church so beautifully that people would close their eyes and feel God's presence whenever he touched the keys. Everything was peaceful until one cold morning, tragedy struck. Mary fell ill and passed away. The whole church mourned, but Pastor John was broken beyond words. He would sit for hours staring at her picture, tears falling silently down his cheeks. Through it all, Daniel stayed by him. He cooked for the pastor, cleaned the house, and made sure church services continued. He wanted to be strong for the man who once gave him a home. But then came Grace, Mary's close friend from the church. She often came to help Pastor John, bringing food and pretending to care. Slowly, she took control of everything. She started sleeping in Mary's room, giving orders, and acting like the new owner of the house. At first, Daniel thought she was just being helpful. But soon, her true colors showed. She began to mistreat him. She would shout at him, starve him, and sometimes pour away his food. "You're nothing but a burden," she would say. "Pastor John took pity on you, that's all." The most painful part was that Pastor John, who once loved Daniel like a son, began to change. He believed everything Grace said. If Daniel tried to explain, the pastor would cut him off. "Don't talk back to her," he would shout. Every night, Daniel cried quietly on his small bed. His parents, far away in their poor home, also wept when they heard how their son was being treated. But all they could do was pray. Daniel had only one escape, his phone. He loved making small videos and posting them online. Sometimes he would post funny clips, sometimes short gospel skits. Deep in his heart, he prayed, "God, let the world see me. Not for fame, but so I can help my parents." One Sunday morning, Grace lied again. She told Pastor John that Daniel had been chasing women in the church. Without asking questions, the pastor called Daniel out during service. In front of everyone, he shouted, "Daniel, you have brought shame to this house." The church went silent. Grace stood beside the pastor with a wicked smile. Daniel fell to his knees, crying, "Sir, I didn't do anything. Please believe me." But Pastor John turned away. That night, Daniel cried harder than ever before. "God," he whispered, "if you can hear me, please help me. I've suffered enough." And heaven heard. A few days later, Daniel posted a short video on TikTok, just a simple clip where he played the keyboard and sang a song he wrote himself. Within hours, it began to spread like wildfire. People from all over the world watched, shared, and commented. "Who is this boy? He plays like an angel." Within a week, Daniel's life changed. He was invited to perform at big events. Companies started reaching out to him. He made more money than he could ever imagine. The same phone that once brought him comfort now brought him blessings. Months passed, and Daniel became famous. He moved his parents to the United States, bought them a beautiful house, and made sure they never suffered again. 1 year later, news spread back home, Pastor John had chased Grace away. He confessed before the church, saying, "I was blind. She used dark powers on me. I didn't know what I was doing." That same day, Grace left the village in anger. But on her way home, she had a terrible accident. Her car crashed, and she died instantly. When Pastor John heard the news, he wept bitterly. He realized how deeply he had hurt Daniel. He sent messages, begging for forgiveness. Daniel forgave him. "Sir," he said gently, "I hold no pain in my heart. God used my tears to lift me. I only thank him for everything." From that day, Daniel became a symbol of hope in his village, proof that no matter how long it takes, God never forgets those who trust him.